In attempting to persuade people that the values of the modern West are actually Christian values, believers would like us to be that character in the soap opera who has a sudden and dramatic case of amnesia, forgetting Christian history, dogma, the writings of Christian thinkers over the centuries, and what the Christian holy book itself says in writing for everyone to read. In this, Christians are fortunate, as even Christians don't want to read that damned thing. But when you open its pages and begin familiarizing yourself with the contents, you very quickly realize that the values of the modern West are in no way aligned with the values of the Christian Holy Book. For instance, the idea of religious pluralism, the freedom to worship whatever God you want and practice any religion you'd like, or none, as guaranteed in the First Amendment of the American Constitution. My dear friend Aaron Ra has a profound way of making this point, saying that the First Amendment is a contradiction of the First Commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. For what it's worth, I always made sure that I put the other gods on either side of Yahweh, or just slightly behind him, so that he doesn't feel threatened. He's such a delicate flower, right? I mean, isn't he? Religious pluralism actually has a long history and is not the invention of Enlightenment thinking. Hinduism, Taoism, Jainism, and Buddhism all have established traditions of religious pluralism going all the way back before the birth of Christianity. Even the Rome of Jesus' time had a certain degree of pluralism thanks to a long tradition of polytheism. And that really is the key. It's almost axiomatic that monotheism would be less tolerant and pluralistic than polytheism. If there are many gods, then you can have yours and I can have mine, right? Not so with monotheism. But Christianity took that to soaring new heights with Jesus' declaration of exclusivity. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Well, not me, but Jesus. You know, I was quoting. Perhaps that declaration on its own wouldn't have been so bad, but Christianity coupled that declaration with the rather dire consequences for those who preferred someone other than Jesus in terms of getting into heaven. Quote, "He who believes in the Son has everlasting life, and he who does not believe in the Son shall not see life. The wrath of God abides on him." End quote. That's John 3:36, just 20 verses after, "For God so loved the world," etc. Yeah, the Christian God loved the world so much and sent his only begotten Son to save us, but failure to bow means an eternity of God's wrath. As orthodoxy crystallized in the 4th century, what it meant to believe in Jesus got more and more granular and refined. It was not enough to simply believe in Jesus broadly. You needed to believe in the exact right thing about Jesus and who he was. One's intent apparently means very little to God. You've got to get things just right, which birthed some horrible, if entirely logical, fears. If Bob down the street doesn't believe the exact right thing and somehow in casual conversation convinces my kid to not believe the exact right thing too, well, Bob could be responsible for my kid suffering eternally in the pit of hell. Better that Bob go away than infect the entire community with his heresy. Thus, the hunting of heretics and the complete lack of religious pluralism and tolerance for those who were believing otherwise. For some groups, such as the Cathars in southern France, this resulted in what many scholars refer to as a genocide known as the Albigensian Crusade, which Pope Innocent III launched in an attempt to eradicate Catharism. That crusade succeeded and basically birthed the Inquisition, which would hunt heresy and heretics for hundreds of years. As the Reformation grew, both Protestants and Catholics believed themselves to be the guardians of the one true faith, leading to all kinds of religious violence. From the massacre of St. Bartholomew's Day in 1572 to the 30 Years' War, which lasted for, can you guess? Right, good job. 30 years, from 1618 to 1648. These unending religious wars ultimately inspired the need for religious tolerance and the separation of church and state. I guess in that way, Christianity had some role in coming to value religious pluralism, but that's the essence of leading from behind. And ironically, while Christians are trying to say that such values are Christian values, it is the Christians of today who are wanting to leave such values behind. Right, Lauren?
The church is supposed to direct the government. The government is not supposed to direct the church. That is not how our founding fathers intended it. And I'm tired of this separation of church and state junk that's not in the Constitution. It was in a stinking letter, and it means nothing like what they say it does.
As I was writing this piece, I was alerted to this clip revealing where Christian nationalists are wanting to take America today.
Jews cannot hold public office. They can live here and they can live here peacefully and all these kinds of things. But no, this is a Christian nation, and those who reject Christ and hate Christ, they can be in the car, and we shouldn't mistreat them, but they don't get to drive. Listen to me, Christian, you are allowed to have a country. You are. It is okay to say, no, that this country, this nation is for us and our posterity. It's not for Hindus. It's not for Muslims. And it's not for Jews. It belongs to Christians.
Here's the point. These nut jobs aren't wrong. Indeed, the Christian holy book is far worse, telling believers that those teaching the worship of other gods should be put to death and shown no mercy. This includes entire towns and all the livestock, because heretical livestock can do some serious damage as well, right? Tolerance and religious pluralism are not Christian values. Never were, never have been. And if Christian nationalists have their way, tolerance and pluralism will go the way of the Cathars, and likely in a very similar manner. Once again, I'm me. Thanks for watching.